Well, hi there, food friends. It's Kevin.
No, it isn't. It's Ralph. I mean, okay, I'm Ralph behind the
You're
camera.
Ralph. I'm Kevin. And here we are. You know what? We are in a roasting mood today.
Well, it's fall.
It's fall, and it's, chilly outside and damp. And here, at least here in Michigan, the bounty of the autumn harvest is coming in strong and beautiful.
And when the weather drops and the temperature drops and the weather changes, it's always good to get the stove or the oven going.
Yeah, and we love roasting vegetables, and you can practically roast any vegetable. Some, I think, take to it better than others. But we're going to roast a few different vegetables today, so this is going to be kind of a roasting episode. We've got some beets. We've got this is acorn squash, and we have a butternut squash.
Earthy.
Yes, all earthy. We're gonna start with the beets. Now, these I bought at the farmer's market 3 days ago. I've had them in the fridge. So the leaves are kind of, you can see, they've kind of had better days. But so that you know that beet leaves are edible. They have a little bitterness to them, but if you wash them, you can mix them into a salad with some other, greens.
Because we've done that with radish leaves, I think, haven't we? No, maybe I'm thinking of something else.
But anyways, with beet greens you could also saute them like a shard or something like that.
So are these to be cleaned or
No,
washed? Or?
These are, I should have cut them off. I should have cut them and washed them and used them the day I bought these. They've been in this dumb plastic bag, and now they're all wilted and okay.
They're no good now.
No,
but we are going to make use of the beets.
We are going to use the beets. So we're going to roast the beets, and we're going to start by just cutting them from the stems, and I'm cutting them with about maybe an inch or so of the actual stem. Be careful because you get a lot of color that runs out of these stems, very dark red.
Yes.
And it stains. So let's just cut that much.
It's like you're leaving little mohawks on them.
I like that, little beet mohawks. Okay. So now we've got our beets cut. Now here's what else we're going to do. We're going to cut this is the stem and this is the root end, okay?
Okay.
We're going to cut a little bit of that off, not the whole thing, okay, but just a little bit. It's just, again, so they don't bleed too much.
So, you're saying if you cut it deeper, it would bleed?
Yeah. So
you just want to get the stringy root part off. Okay, got it.
And then, guess what? These are dirty because beets grow in the ground, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give them just a quick rinse in the sink here. Beets have a very thick outer skin that really you can't really do much with, including eat. So when you roast them, however, what happens is the skin gets soft and allows you to get to the wonderful, sweet, earthy flesh of the beets. Okay? I'm just giving these a rinse here. Okay, just to get the excess dirt off of them.
That's fine. I was just running out of things to film.
It does not make any sense to me to season the beets prior to putting them in the oven. Because the reason to roast them is twofold. One, to cook them and to soften them. But the other thing is to get the skin to sort of soften up so that it can be easily removed. Once you remove the skin and you have the meat or the flesh of the beet, then you season it. Okay?
Otherwise, you're seasoning the skin, which
is going to come off anyways. You know what I mean? You're not going to eat any of this stuff that's on the outside. Right. So here's all I'm going to do. I'm going to put these in a piece of aluminum foil. Okay? I'm going to wrap them up. like so.
So you don't care if you leave a little open at the top?
Well, actually, you know what? This piece is not big enough, so I'm gonna
Just do a few at a time.
we're gonna do 3 and 3. I do like to close it entirely, and I'm gonna put them in there. Let me get some more foil. And
Is this what you're actually going to be baking them in?
well, in case they leak, that's the reason I'm using that baking dish, okay? Just so that it doesn't make a mess in the oven. All right, here we go. Okay? That's just to catch any of the juices, all right?
Okay.
So, I got a 375, 400 degree oven. They're going in. They're gonna roast for probably an hour and 20 minutes.
So you'll check them after a certain time?
Yes, and then okay. Now we're moving on to, we got the beets in the oven. We're going to move on to our squash.
We got the beets.
We got the beet. We're going to start with the acorn squash. I've done one already. I'm going to do the other so you can see
how you scooped them.
Yeah, kind of scoop out the middle. So I'm going to start. I usually try to break the stem off a little. Then now this outer skin is tough, and the squash itself is very hard. Okay. So the good news is in a cool place, these actually last a long time, like in a cellar or
that's
a
why
cool room.
When people put pumpkins out on their porch during this season, they tend to stay unless the squirrels get them or somebody smashes them.
Yes, that's right. So we've got. I'm working my way in. Be very careful with your knife, please. But you need a sharp knife, and I'm gonna go around like so. See how I'm doing this?
Yeah, kind of following the contours of the shape of the squash itself. And I like how you're saving the seeds for me.
You almost have to saw it, yeah. And then of course this is the hardest part right here at the stem. Yeah.
The thickest.
There we go.
Okay.
So here we go. Now, just using a spoon, okay, just scoop that inside out. Now we're saving these because somebody likes to roast the squash seeds, and they're very delicious. Right, Ralph?
He's talking about me. Yeah, I do. I love pumpkin seeds, squash seeds this time of year. Roasting them, putting a little seasoning on them. It's easy and it's delicious.
So we're just going to scoop those out.
So these are going to be your sweet
these we
squashes.
do. I like to do the acorns with a sort of a sweet filling. Okay.
And then the butternut will be savory.
Yes.
Okay.
So, all right, let me just move this out of the way here. And now that we have our 4 acorn squash, what I'm going to start with is in each one we're going to put some butter, because
more butter, more better.
Right. And this is unsalted butter.
But we should just say because butter. Period.
Yeah, butter. Say no more. Right.
Yeah. So how much do you put in each one?
I'm going to put in a good about a tablespoon here.
Okay, I call that a hunk.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more than a tablespoon.
Good hunk of butter in each of those dips and those crevices, whatever.
So tablespoon plus, we don't.
Tablespoon plus. Okay.
Plus, okay.
Because it's going to really soak into this.
Yes, the butter really does soak into the
and it gives
squash.
it such a good flavor when it's roasting for a good long time.
Then we're going to do salt and pepper. Okay. So we're going to I know we're doing it sweet, but something about adding a little salt and a little pepper, especially this butter is unsalted.
Oh, right.
Okay, so we're going to put in.
But a little salt will enhance the sweet, actually.
Yes,
right?
it will. And I'm going to give it a nice, just a real quick dusting here with the pepper grinder. Okay.
You made these for a dinner recently, and people just loved them.
Now they really did, because I think it's different. Now we're going to take, and I'm just going to layer brown sugar to kind of cover. You don't want to pack it in there, but you want to cover the butter pat. Okay? See that?
Right, so like a big tablespoon or two,
yeah,
whatever it takes.
I would say probably a couple tablespoons of brown sugar.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now we're done. We're going to put these in the oven. Again, we're already roasting our beets. Let me get some. I do like to cover. So,
is that to help it cook and also keep the moisture? Or
yes,
make
it keeps it moist and it helps it cook. So I'm going to just put this in the oven along with the beets.
Thank goodness for tinfoil.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so in those go. Oop, you know what? I'm going to put those down here. And they need a good hour plus.
Okay, and they're also at 375 because that's what the beets are at.
Yes, Now, I'm going to clean up a little bit here, and we'll do our friend. So now it's butternut time. Same thing. I'm going to take that stem off. Now, this is even a harder squash, I think, than the acorn to cut.
So again, be very careful with your sharp knife.
Be very careful. We're going to just kind of go around here. And
almost like a sawing motion again.
It's especially down at this end. So, again, be careful. Take your time. And just go. Keep working that knife till you get all the way around like so. Isn't it beautiful though? Look at the color. Just vibrant.
Yeah, it just really feels like fall.
Yeah. Just beautiful. Okay, so what I'm going to do here is we're going to again scoop out the pulp and the seeds. And we actually got these off the road yesterday.
You snuck into a farmer's garden?
No. Do you remember? They had there was a farm and they had a stand out in front with pumpkins and a number of different kinds of squash. They were 50 cents each, which, gosh, was terrific. And they just had a coffee can out there and with a slit in the top, and you just put your money in, took what you wanted. Okay, so here's this. What I'm going to do, we are going to use butter again. I'm going to put a little just drizzle, okay, of olive oil over each one. We're going to just kind of rub that on the inside, okay, and on the top, because that's going to kind of help things to sort of stick. All right. So this one, again, we went sweet with the acorn squash. This one we're going to go savory. And first thing we're going to do is a little S&P, right? That's always where we start.
Right.
So we're going to start with some
basic seasonings here.
Yep, salt and some pepper. And I got it in a, casserole here, baking dish.
Did you have to spray the dish?
I didn't. You could. I love cooking in glass, and I love cooking in terracotta and earthenware because it cleans up so beautifully. Even the worst burnt-on stuff, you just give it a little soak and it comes off. Okay, so now our dear sweet friend Shauna, look what she gave us.
Bags of spices and herbs.
So we are so grateful.
She marked them.
Yeah, she marked them. But look, she's got an herb garden even more than ours. It's just like berserk.
So what are you using?
So I'm using sage, thyme, and rosemary. I'm going to take the sage here and I'm going to kind of roll it up. Okay, like a little chiffonade, and we're gonna.
Wow, you can really smell it once you start cutting into it.
Yes, because this is essentially how the oils in the herbs get released when the herbs get kind of, broken and bruised, and that is where, yeah, boy, can you smell that wonderful sage? So let's put that in there. Okay, I'm gonna sage these up. Then we have the rosemary, which again, like a lot of herbs, you start with kind of the main stem and you hold one end and you just sort of pull back, because it's not this part you want, it's the little leaves. Right? So we're going to do the same thing here. Chop, chop, chop. And these kind of herbs too are very fall-like. They're a lot of what we think of when we think of like poultry seasonings, right?
Right.
And I think that's why it's so reminiscent of autumn. Okay, so now we've got some rosemary, and then finally the thyme, which is the smallest of them all. And I'm going to actually just, all I'm really doing is pulling the
stem away from the leaves.
The leaves away from the stem. They're very small, and it's a delicate kind of a flavor. I think I'm even going to put some whole
sprigs.
Why not, right? Now, if you don't have your, yes, we're lucky we have these wonderful fresh herbs, and you may not have fresh herbs. You know what? You can use dried. And you can use to taste, and you might not particularly like
certain
what
ones
we're using, so use what you want, okay?
Or you might want to play some Simon and Garfunkel and add some parsley, sage, rosemary, and thyme.
There you go.
We have actually Nino Rota in the background tonight.
Is that what that is?
Yeah, music from the Romeo and Juliet film.
Oh, terrific. I haven't seen that movie in a long time. Okay, so here's our butter.
So won't those sprigs be hard still? Or
no,
they'll
there's so much moisture in the squash, okay?
So the seasonings were just salt and pepper other than the fresh herbs?
Salt, pepper, fresh herbs, olive oil, butter, okay? Oh. Again, we said we're doing this savory, okay? Covered in the oven.
Wow. That oven's doing its work today.
It's getting to work. The old Calvinator's getting a workout today. So 375 to 400 degrees. It's in that range.
Also for an hour plus?
Yep, a good hour, actually an hour and 15 minutes to even an hour and a half would be fine. You would still be within a good range. You know, you want the squash to get nice and soft, and you want all those flavors to kind of meld into the squash.
So don't take them out too early. Make sure they stay in there for a good hour plus.
So we'll come back after these have been in for a while and done their. So we're gonna take the beets out. Really smelling earthy.
Oh,
in here,
I love
isn't
it. Love it.
Yeah.
This area of the thumb is known for the sugar beets, and you can smell something similar to this in the air around here at this time of year. But boy, the kitchen is just filled with this earthy, warm, harvesty smell.
Sugar beets are a big crop here in this part of the state, and so there's a couple of sugar refineries, and so when they're cooking, you can smell the beets. So here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to transfer them from there to here.
Oh, look at the juice coming out, like you said.
Yeah.
You gotta be careful. You should be wearing an apron, Kevin.
I know. But what I want to do is
ice bath.
I'm going to ice bath them because I want to cool them down so that we can
work with them.
Yes, get to peeling them. All right. But
look how dark the water got to be.
Yeah, isn't it? So. I'm just going to let these kind of cool in the bath for a minute just to take some of this extreme heat off of them.
They've been at 375 for a good hour and a half now, right?
Yes. And so we're just going to let them kind of cool off. And I'm going to try to not get myself in big trouble here.
I say put an apron on.
Let me grab one of these. I'm going to work in a bowl here. So now what we're going to do is we're going to cut that top off and look at the skin. You see how I'm taking it off? It's so I don't know if you can see
Yeah,
how I'm just literally
It's so roasted that the
scraping
skin is coming right off.
scraping it off with the knife. Look at that. It just comes right off. Okay, that's what you want. And then we're going to cut the end there.
You should be wearing an apron
Well.
and gloves.
So once I get the skin off, okay, then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it on the cutting board here, and we're
Which
going
is red.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I did make sure I used a red cutting board. Look at that. Aren't those beautiful? They look like jewels.
Yeah. Have they cooled off? I mean,
They're still warm.
I mean, to the touch, you can feel the heat.
But I can work with them. Okay. So then what we'll do is we'll slice them up, and I'm going to put them in a dish. Okay, and we'll season them, and they'll be ready for dinner.
Yum.
Okay, I've got them all peeled up here.
And I see you have an apron now.
Yes, thank you very much.
Maybe next time we come back, you'll be wearing gloves.
Well, but take a look at how beautiful these are.
I just love Beets.
I
know not everybody does because they're often maligned because of the cans and
Yeah.
but the fresh
And
getting
we've all had some
bad
bad beets out there, I guess, huh?
Yeah.
But now these bigger ones are still a little. They were still a little. How should we say?
Undercooked.
Firm. Not as soft as I would have liked. So
it really takes a long time to
yeah.
cook them,
So
doesn't it?
the larger ones really need like 2 hours to really cook.
Are these going back into the oven?
Yeah, we'll put them back in the oven.
Okay.
But you can slice them thin. I like them in kind of chunks, like this.
And you can tell, like Kevin was showing during the skinning of the beets, that if it comes off easily, that's when it's ready. But if it feels like you're scraping a little too hard, then they're not.
Yeah, you can just tell by the firmness.
Yeah.
And you don't want them soft, mushy. Okay.
No, it's got to be that right balance in between.
But here we go. So I'm just going to continue to cut these, and we're going to put them in our thing here. And then we still have our wonderful acorn and butternut squash that are in the oven. We're going to get those out next.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm just going to keep cutting up the beets. And then, they are like any other vegetable. When you roast it, it gets so nice and sweet. We're just going to put a little salt and pepper on these, and there we'll be good to go.
Just enhance that natural earthy flavor. All right, we're back to part 4. Where are we now?
We're our butternut. No, our acorn.
Acorn and butternut.
Acorn are next. They're going to come out. Oh, smells good.
Whoever knew squash could be so complicated.
Well, it's really not complicated.
I know, I'm just teasing. It's actually very easy. Wow.
Oh,
can you smell that?
I can.
It's like pure buttery goodness.
Yeah, is that ever good? And I think, I was going to put them in this bowl, but you know what? I wonder if I can put squeeze the butternut in here somehow.
Oh, and take the whole thing.
Yeah, and then we can just kind of take that. We're actually taking this over to a friend's dinner, but for illustration purposes, I just want to show you. Get in here on this, Ralph. See, look how beautiful that is. Look how
tender.
just soft.
Fork
See?
tender, they call it.
Yeah, and then of course, it's really hot. I mean, come on, butter and brown sugar, seriously. So
still sizzling. So you're gonna squeeze the butternut in there.
Well, I'm gonna try. What do you think?
Yeah, and then the liquid will probably start to absorb in, or if it leaks out a bit, it won't be so bad.
Let's bring the let me put a couple hot pads down here.
Let's introduce the butternut into this.
Shall we? Yes, into this whole crazy thing. So they are right here and smelling wonderful. So
the only thing I'm worried about or thinking is because the butternut are more savory. Will it? Because they're I just got a whiff of that. Does that smell good?
Okay.
Oh, it smells like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, we're in good shape.
All right.
Okay.
So you want to think about it for a minute?
Yeah, I'm going to think about what we're going to put these in because these are traveling with us to dinner. But take just,
Get a shot
before
of
we
that.
say goodbye, get a shot of this.
You are brave. I could never eat anything right out of the oven like that.
If you think you don't like squash, then you know what? You just haven't made it the right way. Because this is delicious. Both of these. You can't, and the beets.
And it's really taking advantage of the fruits of the season, the harvest of the season,
yes.
the vegetables of the season.
So, okay.
Well, we may be coming back if we film us eating this at our dinner party, but if not, thank you for joining us on this episode of Cavalcade of Food.
That's right. We had a great time with our roasted vegetables, and we hope you had a great time being with us on this beautiful fall day. And we're going to enjoy this with our friends tonight at dinner, along with the beets, which are over here staying warm. And you know what? Thanks for being a part of it, and we'll see you next time right here on Cavalcade of Food.
Michigan harvest time.
Bye, everybody.